Welcome, listeners, to episode 4 of Love Is.
Justin, have you ever met the one?
The one? I've met 2 or 3 of them.
Wait, what?
No, Cass, of course not. What I'm trying to say is I don't think there is just the one out there. I think there's many.
Oh, really many? That certainly takes the pressure off everything.
I mean, that's if you find one of them, or the timing works out, or you don't blow it, or you get on the right subway car at the right time, or
you realize that love will find you, not you who finds it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this week, folks, we talk about finding the gold at the end of the relationship rainbow.
And those people that you feel undeniably connected to.
Love is talks. Get ready for it. Soulmates and Twin Flames. Torch sound. I couldn't be more excited. In this part 1, we begin with Twin Flames.
Oh, that's right, listeners. After recording one big episode, we decided to split it up. We have so much love, so much about love is interchangeable, and we wanted to get a clear picture of 2 of our favorite destined relationships.
Ooh, let's get into it.
Well, we're wondering what love is. Can you let us know? Oh, we're wondering what love is. Can you let us know? Oh.
Hello, listeners. Justin here, Twin Flame, your soulmate, co-host of Love Is, and eternal pessimist.
And Cassie here, soulmate tracker, and maybe one-time twin flamer, and I still love love. We're coming at your ears this week in episode 4 of Love Is. Last week, we took a deep dive into the belly of heartbreak and came out unscathed.
Speak for yourself, Cass.
He's only kidding, right? Come on, Justin. Blow your nose and snap out of it, pal.
What if I don't wanna?
Well, that will be a big bummer because this week's episode is going to cheer you up.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Cass. So, listeners, heartbreak left us with more new questions than answers.
And even though it was tough on some of us, oh no, we got to hear from so many of you, our friends and our listeners. And as odd as it is to say, I found it quite invigorating. Maybe even a little fun.
Yeah, you're right, Cass. It was nice to hear how similar everyone's stories are and how nearly everyone you know has been heartbroken.
Yeah, I totally agree. I felt a lot less alone, and I found comfort in knowing that we all experience heartbreak to some degree. And it's not just coming after us personally, you know?
I hear that. I mean, I feel like love, it can be just one big mean joke.
Ugh, well, get ready to laugh, my friend.
Oh yeah, what's so funny?
Because Love Is episode 4, Twin Flames.
Wait, that's this week?
It is, my friend. We're going to chat with some soulmates and hang with some twin flames.
This is the week we break the case wide open, Cass. Let's find out what the hell love is, listeners. I love you. This week in love, I realize that for folks who live in cities with real seasons, or should I say cold winters and hot summers, summer truly brings out the love. Our feelings feel seasonal, cyclical, and that's a big win for summer. Over to you, Cass.
Thank you, Justin. The highlights this week were aplenty, love fans. Restrictions lifting slowly, and with it, the weight I tied to my apartment. Park beers, patios, Tinder dates, first and second doses flying off the shelves, and the hope that we'll be hugging in hordes come the fall.
I've heard of March Madness, but this might just be Jovial June. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it, Cass.
No, it doesn't, Justin. Tonight's big game pits Love Is against Twin Flames. The rivalry is hot and steamy. This matchup feels predestined. Now a quick commercial break.
Let's get into it. All right, listeners, Justin here. Have you ever met somebody who completely changed the course of your life? It might have been your twin flame. But what does that term mean exactly? And perhaps, more importantly, how do you know when you found yours? Oh, God, did I just sound like a magazine love guru?
Great question, Justin. A twin flame, what is it? Defined here on my internet searches, I have that a twin flame share the same energy core and therefore connect at an extremely deep level. From a spiritual point of view, twin flames are the same soul who's chosen to split into two polarities, the masculine energy and the feminine energy, as a way to experience physical dual existences.
Whoa, Cass, I think we're gonna dub you the love guru. My lord, it's funny you say that, Cass, because a lot of what I researched and found, the twin flame isn't your soulmate. I'm not sure what to believe anymore.
You got it. Well, Justin, twin flames and soulmates differ. The difference between them is that twin flame is said to be the same soul but split in two, whereas your soulmate are people that you have contracts with that you meet throughout your life that share love with you. Sometimes they could be partners, friends, teachers, a grandma, but they're not necessarily a love partner. And a twin flame is usually a romantic partner who is your exact same part of your soul, is what they say.
Wait, so maybe I got these flipped around because
Yes.
I always felt like I determined soulmates as like my romantic partner, and twin flames, there's even a plurality in it. It sounds like we can only have one twin flame.
That's from my understanding, you can only have one twin flame.
Well,
So here's the other thing.
Yeah.
The other thing about twin flames that they are your direct mirror is what people say. So when you are ready to meet your twin flame, they will reflect back to you all of like your wounds, whether they be like childhood, like abandonment issues, codependency. They will bring all the stuff up in you. So then you have to like heal these things. And then once you've kind of like healed and gone through all these things, then you become in union with each other.
So you're telling me that twins, like born twins, aren't necessarily twin flames, is what you're saying?
I would say those are more soulmates.
Okay.
If
But what
yes,
could twins be twin flames is the big question.
great question. Well, from what I've read about and what I know about, twin flames are usually romantic partners, and I don't think a lot of twins out there, hopefully not, are falling in love romantically.
Oh, fair, yes. Like it sounds like a
Yes.
really bad book I'd find on like a libraries for sale shelf, like the incestuous twin flame twins, and it's a weird, cheap erotica, if one could say.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's possible, but unlikely and frowned upon, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think most people realize that twin flames are romantic because it's like your other soul, it's your, like the other half of your soul that you want to like combine together with. You want to be back with your own soul. So some people say when they meet their twin flames, time stops and they are like, wow, there's like a familiarity between you and this person. Although I think you get that as well with soulmates.
So, I mean, that's fascinating, Cass. What you're describing does sound pretty soulmatey to me. And I guess that's where the confusion lies, is that, and maybe you stepped on this already, is why do you think we have these two terms? Why do we have twin flames? Why do we have soulmates?
Yes. Okay. So the thinking is that some people call twin flames like your divine counterpart or sacred unions. So it's basically this divine union of love that you have with this like one person, your twin flame. And it's like such this crazy magnetic energy that you could never experience with anybody else. But some people mistaken that with a soulmate, where I feel like soulmates come in and out of your life, who, let's say a romantic partner, that is there for a certain amount of time to teach you a lesson, or it could be a best friend that you're like with for all of your life, but the connection will never be as intense as a twin flame.
Mm.
But then I've also read too that not everybody has a twin flame,
Yeah.
which can kind of be upsetting.
Is that like you kind of how much like my sister, how she in the belly of my mom ate her twin and she's just a one? Like I may have emotionally absorbed my twin flame at some point.
Oh, is this a true story that has
This,
happened to you?
well,
Does
a
it?
little bit of a sidebar is that when I was probably 16 and my sister was, she's like 7 years older than me, so probably like she's like 9 or 10 or something. We were all sitting on the table and my sister made some comment and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, like how your sister had a twin." And all of us dropped our forks and knives going, what do you mean? Like that's just a weird joke. It's not, it's just like, it's not a joke. I didn't tell you guys that. And we're all like, no, my sister had
Oh
no
my
idea
God.
she was a twin. And apparently it was very early on, but there was, on the scans, there was, I don't know if it was to 2 heartbeat level, but then one day there was 2 babies and one day there was just one. And the doctor was like, "Oh yeah, that means Chantel consumed the other baby in quotations." And I was like, "Oh, so now she's a superhuman." But yeah,
Wow.
but that makes me think, is this weird? Maybe it's similar to our search for our twin flame, is that my sister will always feel this search for the sibling they never had.
Mm-hmm. And does your sister ever feel like she's missing something or missing somebody?
No, it was the funniest thing. That was the whole conversation that came up after we all realized this. We're all like, "What? How didn't you tell us that?" And my mom was like, I thought I did. I must have forgotten." And my sister had a moment of
So
going, "I could have had a
casual.
twin." But then she
Yeah.
realized she never felt like she was a twin. So that's why it was weird. It was like more funny after that. It was like shocking to go,
Mm.
"You got to tell people that." And then you're like, "Well, it's not like 2 babies were born and one died and my mom kept it a secret." She was like, "It wasn't really a baby to me."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you were twins technically, scientifically, but you weren't like twins emotionally.
That is so wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's
Hmm.
something, but I'd love to get deeper into that in a weird way of being like, I'd love to ask her now if she ever thinks about it. And maybe in the same way that we are searching for the one.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
I love that.
And also, so I like this. So the idea is that a soulmate isn't forever, but a twin flame is definitely forever.
Okay, really great point. Because of course, that isn't necessarily as well that you would be with your twin flame forever. Ideally you would, but some people say that when you're both ready to grow and be with each other, then and are kind of committed to each other's growth, then do you become into union and then you like move forward.
Mm.
But I also want to say that there is like this other dynamic that people are, it's like the runner or the chaser, which I think we talked about in an
We
earlier
did.
episode.
I called it there's a gardener and a flower.
That's right. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so usually there's like a runner. Okay, and then also within this community, I think there's a lot of like kind of really like not bad vibes, but I feel like a lot of people stay in difficult relationships because they think that it's their
Mm,
twin flame. So it's like you get caught in kind of these like bad patterns that don't make you feel good, but because of this label, oh, this is my twin flame, because they're like showing me all of these like wounds that I have like from childhood, and this person is like really bringing these out in me. So like here I am doing all this healing work, and because I'm healing, and if he's my twin flame, then we're mirroring each other, and ideally he's doing all his work, and then we'll like get together. But some people will stay in these like cycles for like years and years because you're like, oh, you're my twin flame. But I think on that level, then this person is your soulmate. And I think some people might get a little
mm,
angry about that. But I think that's kind of more of like a karmic relationship where you are like, oh, this person is like showing me things that I need to like work through myself. But I think at the end of the day, a twin flame is your divine love counterpart and will meet you at your highest love frequency if you're into those kinds of things. But it will be like twin flames are happy and not always like a work to be like, oh, like this is such a struggle, this person. I'm so back to the runner chaser, a lot of the females are the chasers and the male is the runner. So usually females tend to feel like they're running after this counterpart who they think is their twin flame, but their twin flame wants nothing to do with them because they're like, love, and they're running away. But then you're like, oh, well, that must mean I need to reflect on myself, and why do I have like these attachment wounds that now I have to heal? It's pretty fascinating, but yeah.
That's wild. I mean, you made more out of that than I think most of the rom-coms we watch when they talk of soulmates. Maybe Twin Flames would be a good deep dive for our next romantic comedy, Cass.
Wow, a twin flame rom-com?
Maybe it's a series. It might have to be a series. If you talk about this runner and this chaser, I'm like, how does this unlikely couple become one?
Oh my gosh. And even with that, the realization that maybe who you think is your twin flame doesn't end up being your twin flame, but you needed that person as a stepping stone to like heal certain things for you to then find your person that actually lifts you up and makes you feel good.
So we got soulmates helping us possibly define what our twin flame is. It sounds like a Legend of Zelda, find the gem, get better swords to fight the final boss.
That's right. I mean, you're totally right. And I think at the end of the day, and we've touched on this before too, but I think it is always a choice, regardless if this person is a twin flame or a soulmate. It's always kind of between the two people making the choice to be like, are we going to be together? Can we help each other grow? Are we in this together? What are our values the same? And together you have to move forward.
Yeah. And and like I said again, it's not like these relationships have to last forever. Like maybe they're just a spark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except we're forever.
Oh, for sure. Of course.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have 8 seasons.
8 seasons and a movie. You heard it here.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's I'm glad we've at least attempted to define all that, Cass, which is great. It really leads us into so in this episode we had a special interview with a few of my friends that I've worked together, that I've fallen in love with, which is hilarious because I build it as my twin flames. Whereas what I've heard from Cassie, I might have some conflicting information. So please listen, enjoy, and define for yourselves whether or not me and my close friends are in fact twin flames or soulmates. See you on the other side. Here to talk with my 3 great friends, Christian Jordan, Andrew Del Campo, and Connie Manfredi. The little topic we'd like to call soulmates and twin flames. Now, I'm not sure where to put them in that category, if any at all. Frankly, they might hate me because they haven't seen me in a while. But without further ado, love is Shet's twin flames and soulmates. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi.
Good. Hi.
Hello.
So all I know, Cassie, about twin flames is that it's an intense soul connection. And I read this psychotherapist that said there's a misnomer that twin flames complete you. In reality, it's a relationship that encourages you to be more complete in yourself. And that's why I feel and see in these 3 people. And that's why I rounded them up like cats.
This all happened 6 years ago. I hope we all remember now. Like almost
Wow.
this exact time 6 years ago.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's a long time ago.
I came into that rehearsal room the first day of rehearsals and I knew Justin and Andrea, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe we knew each other a little bit and I wasn't 100% sure which person Connie was. Like, I don't think I had no face recognition, no idea who you were.
Yeah, me neither.
And there's something very like emotionally charged about putting a cast together because it's obviously, not that I'm saying anything anybody here doesn't know, but it's an in-depth, like very concentrated shot of a relationship that has to happen very fast and get very intense and then dissipate immediately. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I like from going to not knowing who Connie is to like how good we got along in what would have been the 3-week rehearsal period max. Like it went from 0 to 11 so fast.
Yes.
2 weeks. Wasn't it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think what happened too is like the conditions were ripe for a 4-way love affair because there were only us 4 in the play, and the play took place in real time. and we were all kind of family in the play. So it was like the play itself was really intense, and we were all on stage almost the whole time. And we were all, we were all in like really similar places in our lives, weren't we? We were all like living in apartments. We all had partners. That doesn't sound all that similar, actually. That's just like, that's like saying we all liked to drink water and we all slept at night.
We did. We loved water. I
We were
remember.
so hydrated back then.
Oh,
I haven't
my
liked water
God.
since.
And also like the subject matter of the show, I think just called for us to the best of our ability, just bring authenticity, because we were playing for real people our age,
Yeah.
obviously in a different set of circumstances, but like there wasn't that much to hide behind. So it was kind of like, this is who I'm playing, but also in a way, like this is who I am. And so I think it was like, we would spend 8 hours a day together as, you know, in character working, but also it was like me getting to know Christian and our intimacy in the show, or me and Andrew, or me and Justin, or all the other dynamics. Like it was two things were happening at once always.
It got so siblingly so fast. Like the sibling relationship, I think, really like came out of the script and into our lives just so quickly. I'm thinking, I can remember, I don't know if I still have it, but there's that photo of the four of us just like cuddled together reading the script, which I know that was taken like first, maybe second day of rehearsal.
Yes.
Like just right into it kind of thing. And the other thing that was like very sibling-esque, I felt like, was like just like the kind of brutal honesty that we all had with each other too, where it was just like right away, just like teeing off on my character and stuff like that, like, and just different lines that I had, like where we just like keyed in on people's lines that we thought were like just so funny, and became like these kind of like lines from like a classic movie that you've seen 1,000 times, even though this is a play that was new to us all. And it was just like, oh, this line right here, and the way that that person says it. And normally I wouldn't do that with another actor, but like for you guys to just completely be on me for the really and truly,
really and truly,
really and truly,
really and truly,
really and truly, the way I said it, and like just immediately, and like, but like I didn't feel self-conscious about it, because I don't know, there was a lot
we
of
kind of like, we mythologized each other and ourselves way before we deserved it. But like we immediately decided that we were iconic. And
yes.
I love that.
Like I feel like this quartet has so many bits that derived from nowhere, and at the same time like mana. Like I feel like like we just call, like I just call Christian Kij, like I just do, or like Little Kij or KJ, or like Justin is always Adam Levine, and like Hollywood's Adam Levine, and like I don't know why we do these things, but it feels like it was always that way.
well, and as far as the Twin Flames things goes, I think I'm the one that introduced the concept.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a good friend of mine had recently met who she thought was her twin flame. And so she did all this online research about it. And so she would tell me about this guy that she had met. I don't remember, she met him at a wedding or something. And they are not together. 6 years later, they are not together.
Okay.
But she told me about the concept of twin flames because she'd like read about it on some websites, and then she was convinced that this guy was her twin flame. And then I don't know why I got obsessed with it. And then I told you guys about it. And I guess I like mythologized that as well, as it like related to our friendship or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as when someone says something, someone that you like brings a new idea to the table. Doesn't matter what it is, that's your favorite thing in the world after that. It could be, look, guys, dodgeball is the new sport. I like, Andrea, I'll play dodgeball with you every goddamn day from now till ever.
Yeah, we would riff on anything and everything way past the point of it being funny. So it makes sense that we took the concept of the twin flame and also ran with it.
When it comes to this topic, and Cassie and I talking about this, I have so little knowledge about what defines each of these things, whether it's twin flames or soulmates. but some big thing that provides a label for me was the timing, which I think to me, love has become just synonymous with great timing. And B, being sort of what Christian summed up for me, is just finding joy and energy and anything in mindless activity. Like
The twin flame theory posits that whilst you only have one twin flame, you may have multiple soulmates. And yes, Cassie's nodding because she's read all the academic studies on twin flamery. But like the theory, so your twin flame is a lover, but your soulmates, you can have many of them and they may not be lovers. They may not be romantic lovers. I would argue that we are both romantic and platonic soulmates, the four of us.
Right.
But yeah, like you could meet like somebody's grandma, and that's your soulmate because you guys just get each other so well. And yeah, I think we had like a soulmate summer.
Totally. Another thought just came to my head is that they all lived in Winnipeg at this time and I lived in Toronto. And so I remember at one point, like there was a shift from like, oh, when this is over, like I have to go to another place and they all get to stay. And I remember, I don't know if I discussed it with the boys. I remember like having a real tough time and talking with Andrea and being like, I can't believe I have to go. Like it was really tough to think about leaving the city because I'm like, but you guys are here. And that was like really, really difficult. And then the day after we closed, we were meeting for brunch and I got into a car accident.
Yeah, that's
on the
Oh,
way.
wow.
And I was like super rattled and I called my dad and he came and he's like, should we go? And I'm like, would you please bring me to the brunch? And they were all like, you can, it's okay. Like you were in a car accident. And I was like, no, this is the last time. So like, however late, show up like, hi, everybody. I just remember the last days being like really chaotic in my brain. So I was like, they all get to still run into each other and I have to go away.
But it wasn't the same after you left.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we
you
suffered a lot.
left. And we all suffered. Like I remember after we closed the show and we had our cast party and Connie left, like I felt a deep loss. Like I felt a deep loss that we were done that. And after you left, like the boys and I, we didn't start hanging out all the time or something. Like it was this specific alchemy that only existed when we were all there. And of course we all have like private friendships now and like, but at the time it seemed like we could only be with each other if everybody was there. And then Connie, you did move back, or like you moved back at some point, or you would like come back and then we would all hang out together and it felt okay. It felt okay when we did that.
Yeah.
Also, like for that to be like, we've all probably been in a show where you get kind of a post-show blues, that kind of thing, but everything was so much more supercharged with this. And as evidenced by the fact that, yeah, Connie, you moved away and then you came back and we would keep hanging out. There was like such a power in the entirety of the cast, like always coming back to hang out together. Like I've never had that before because it was just so, the alchemy of it for sure, which just like was very long lasting and like demanded to like, we just had to get all four together.
I may add that whenever just the three of us are together now, there is this weird need to send the one who is absent a photo of the group, which is some weird soulmate mind game.
Yeah, because it always is like we need to let the other ones know. Like I remember Andrea was in Toronto and we met for a drink and it was like we need to text the guys that we're together.
It feels like an obligation. Like it feels like, oh shit,
it's like
we have
they
to let
need
them
to
know.
know that like some of the gang is together. Wild.
Yeah, it would kind of be cheating otherwise.
Yeah, it's like it would be cheating. Yeah.
Yes.
You got to get it off your chest. You're like, we are together, but you know, it's not working.
The experience of meeting these guys and like the way it felt to be with you guys and then the way it felt to be separated from you guys was so extreme. And I think it drove home for me something that I learn again and again in my life, but every time I learn it, I remember it, which is that you must, if you're a privileged person, as are we, you know, we don't live in a war-torn country. We all have places to live and people who love us and enough food to eat and, you know, all that good stuff. If you are relatively privileged, you must experience, it sounds so hokey, but I really mean it, to experience what is great and what is like blissful, which I really feel is what we had together. You have to know what it feels like to be miserable. and when we separated, I was like truly miserable for maybe 2 days, but that was a really important part of that time. Like if I hadn't gone through that misery, I don't think it would have. And I don't know that the boys went through it the same way that the girls did. Like I know that Connie and I really had a hurt when and I remember I texted Justin. I was like, Justin, I feel so bad. He's like, yeah, I'm just watching the last episode of Mad Men final season. Yeah. But anyway, all that to say is that it was like a reminder that one needs the yin and the yang to be a person who fully feels things.
And the loss reminds you that it was real and not just some sort of you know, just like fantasy cloud world kind of thing. It's that kind of, I of course had a huge come down coming off that. Like now I feel like whenever I'm talking about any of you, I'm very much hearkening back to that exact time and period. So when I'm talking about Connie and Andrea and Justin, it's like, oh, they're so funny in the way that it was funny 6 years ago when we could not stop laughing all the time. And I love them and I feel supported by them in a way that I felt 6 years ago in that exact moment. You know what I mean? So like, it's so defined by that very like powerful inception that began it all.
Like, let's say, so this was 6 years ago, right? So we're all older now and we all like, our careers are different now. Our lives are different now. Like this, back then our lives looked super similar. Like we had a similar amount of responsibilities and now we have more responsibilities. Like if we did this show now, all things be, you know, and we met now and this was the time that we all got to know each other. I wonder if the same thing would happen now that we're older, you know, because like I have a dog and a cat and a husband and I'm a homeowner and like Christian runs a business and, you know, like, would we be able to do that? And I don't ever want to think that like my priority in life is relationships and I never want the objects in my life to prevent me from forming those connections with people and those relationships. And theater is a really great way to do that because you have this like intense period of time where you're spending this time with people. But I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like aging will take away that pure bliss and the fun of getting to know new people. Does that make sense to people? Finding those twin flames, right? Like I don't want age to remove my ability to feel that deeply about people.
Yeah, that's so interesting, Andrea, because it's like we all had the time to really jump in.
Yeah, we had
because
the time.
It was like the demands of the script were what they were, and we had like, you know, pages and pages and pages and pages that you just had to go for it. But like we also outside of that did that too because of just where we were. That like you said, now that might look different. I think we still I think it had to happen when it happened, and that's why it did.
Well, like, yeah, and it goes back to what Justin was saying, is that love is like a question of timing.
Yeah.
And to that effect, there's like almost a nostalgia for that time, obviously, but it makes me think of like, I guess the lesson I've learned from you guys, because I didn't think I had an example in my life, was that once it was over, that time is over, but my experience and my feelings for you guys is never over. My whole life has been moving to a new town, starting from scratch, building relationships, starting over someone else. Other than my mom, I don't have those relationships. So I remember thinking a few years ago going, those are 3 people that if I ran into them at any time, in any place, barring some catastrophe, they have time for me, and I don't think the feelings on my end have ever changed, which is pretty profound for me personally.
It doesn't matter how long has passed. If I got a message from one of them, be like, "We strike at dawn," I'm like, "Let's go." Like, it just feels like
You could take us individually into 4 interrogation rooms. No one's gonna flip. Like, no fucking way. I would not even break a sweat.
and like I truly say that with the most sincerity and the most seriousness. I choose you all every day. I will never not choose any of you.
This week's The Lightning Round.
The lightning round.
The Lightning Round.
The lightning round.
This time there's no rules.
Justin,
What's
are
up?
you ready for this week's lightning round twin flame edition?
I've seen these clouds on the horizon all week. I'm ready for some thunder.
Woo! Okay, get your umbrella, baby, because here we go. Number 1, Justin. Do you believe in twin flames?
Well, here's the thing. I do. I don't know if I will anymore. This plurality is screwing with me, Cassie. Twin flames. There's one of them. What am I answering? All I know is that I believe in some sort of divine witching hour connection between certain people. I'm not sure if that's twin flames, but sure.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Number 2, Justin. Do you believe we're meant to find our soulmates or twin flames?
I mean, if there's a love matrix, maybe not every plane of reality has you meeting your soulmate. So I like to see if there's a belief of something outside of our world, of our consciousness. I like to believe that they're an optimistic viewer. They're like a TV watcher, and they want us all to find our soulmates, but I don't know if they need us to. So I don't know if we're meant to, and that's hard to handle sometimes.
Wow. Okay, I have so many thoughts and feelings on that, but we got to keep it going. Okay, number 3, Justin. Does believing there is more than one person out there for you make things easier, or are you lying to yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I don't know about easier, but I think it makes love more manageable. It takes the pressure off. If there was just one, how could I trust anything? I feel like personally,
Yes.
having more than one person out there for me helps me enjoy whoever I'm with. Makes me realize that there's a million options, much like there's a million things you could do and books you can read. Maybe there's not that many soulmates as books out there, but I like to think that love is a choice, and you don't have to choose to be with what you think is the one person. Because what if that one person turns out to be not so great for you? They can still be your soulmate, but fuck them. I swear I got all aggressive now. Fuck them.
Wow,
you know what?
wow.
Yeah. There's more than one soulmate, because a couple of your soulmates, fuck them.
Yes, get it, girl.
Fuck 'em.
Okay, Justin. That brings me to number 4.
Okay.
What makes somebody a soulmate for you?
I think there's a good component of like the selfish. We're all, at least I think we're all, I hope we're all into ourselves. There's like a reflection of who you are as a person, your interests, your likes, maybe a sense of humor. But then there's also the other side of the coin of they either make you better, they elevate you, or they show you something you've never seen before. I think a lot of that energy comes from like, I didn't think I would be into that, or I didn't even consider that, or whether it's learning or just an energy, or maybe they're an extroverted person and you're an introvert and you're like, I need someone to get me out there. Who knows?
Oh, love that. I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, Justin, number 5, our last and final one. Does having the terms and the labels twin flames and soulmates make things easier or does it make it harder?
I mean, it starts to sound academic, and I don't know about y'all, is I didn't go to school for book learning. I went to school for fun. And it just makes it feel a little less fun. Definitions are good, labels can be good, but sometimes they get a little muddy.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time seeing through the mud.
Love that. Thank
Put
you.
it on a
Justin.
t-shirt.
Another. Okay, we're going to have a whole clothing line.
The back
after
is this beautiful heart, but on the front it's just like a mud, and it's like, can you see through the mud?
Oh. Oh.
Just love that.
Episode 4 merch. Thank you, Justin.
All right, Cass, you're up. Put your lightning cap on.
Okay.
Woo! It's shocking how good that looks. All right, listeners, I'm going to come at Cassie with question number 1.
Hit me.
I'm going to change this one. If you could give me a number, how many soulmates have you had?
Ooh. Okay, well, I'm going to at least say 8.
8.
But like they're not all romantic. I have some really, really great friends who I would consider soulmates, who have been with me from the beginning, even later in life, but have stuck with me through thick and thin. And I would consider them soulmates.
So, that might be part 2, by a 1B, but I'm going to call it 2. Have you found the soulmates that you aren't with anymore? Have they taught you something? I think it's important.
I think so. And I think that soulmates are here to teach us lessons, even if they're hard lessons. I do believe in soul contracts and things before we come here, that I think we and you are going to meet and we're going to do this thing. And even if it sucks, we're going to teach each other a lesson. And I think that all the people that I consider soulmates and maybe not even talk to them anymore, I think we've learned some type of lesson in some way.
I like that, because I think I've had some hard breakups and I've thought, well, not that it was pointless, but that person couldn't be a soulmate if it ended so badly. But I'm feeling a little better.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Okay.
Do you believe in just that one person for everyone?
There's a part of me that so badly wants to say yes, but I know that we are in a constantly changing world and that people come and they go, and that is part of life. And I actually think that it might be better that we don't have one specific person, but that we learn and build from each relationship that we're in to then kind of come to hopefully our final cherry on top relationship.
We're all looking for that cherry. Number 4. Cass, is timing everything?
Oh, timing. I think it is. And then I get angry at it sometimes because I've definitely been there when the timing is not right. But then I've never gone back or had somebody kind of resurface when times seemed quote unquote right. So maybe that means time was never right. And the time that we had was the right time all along.
Ooh, that the wrong time might be the right time?
Yeah.
I think that's a Barry Gibb song. Right time might be the wrong time. Love is single coming at you. Question number 5 with a bullet. Cass, do you think you can misjudge a twin flame or soulmate? This worries me. And what I mean by that is mistitle them.
Yes, I do. And this is what I will say is that there was a time where I thought I met my twin flame. And I was so convinced. I was like, wow, this person is making me feel so much heartbreak. This is why it's horrible. I was like, this person is showing me all of these things that, abandonment, like codependency. I'm like, wow, this person is in my life to show me all of these things that I need to like heal within myself. And I stuck around for a very long time because of this label. But then I realized it's so weird because there was a part of me that was like, at the beginning, I was so drawn to this person. And then I got so in my head, I was like, well, my intuition is telling me to hang out with this person. But then the more I hung out with them, I was like, I'm actually not feeling very good. Then this was about the time that I was like learning about twin flames. And then I was like, oh, this is how these relationships should feel because I'm learning all of this stuff about myself. But then at the end of the day, I think it's my own choice and I'm not feeling very good about this. And I think this person helped me in some way, but I think you could only go to a certain point with this relationship. So I don't think they're my twin flame, and I think that was even a hard thing to come to.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Cass. Tough and beautiful, and that's why we do the lightning round.
The lightning round.
The lightning round. There are no
rules.
Woo! All right.
Oh man, I'm sweating.
Sweating, Cassie. We're coming out of a big little episode. I gotta say, Twin Flames knocked me on my ass a little bit.
It did. I can definitely feel the heat, Justin, right now.
If there's too much love in the kitchen, get out of the heat.
That's right.
Well, speaking of cooling off, that, listeners, was our quick toe dip into Twin Flames.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling as hot and heavy as Justin and I over here. Because next week, we're going to dive deep into the cool waters of Soulmates.
Ooh, so get your chips and dips ready.
Because we're feasting on love, baby.
Love.
Yum, yum, yum.
As always, listeners, this has been Justin.
And this has been Cass.
And whether you're in love
or out of love,
we love you, listeners.
It's just nice to say.
Love you, Cass.
Love you, Justin.